and welcome to my Everything I Knit in October video, when it's not quite accurate because there's at least one thing I knit in October that I don't even have a picture for, but I'll explain. So October, when last I left you, I had finished these puppies. Yes, my City Skyline socks, or City Socks I think they might be called. This pattern's now released anyway. It's a free pattern up on my website. This much yarn was left from the ball of yarn, so successful game of yarn chicken. Have not done the ends in simply because I'm lazy. Okay, it's October. I was trying to tune out as many pairs of socks as possible, so they have not been worn, so I would like to count them in my Socktober update. Only they really don't count for Socktober because they were finished in September, if you can consider this finished. Anyway, that's where we got up to in the end of September. Start of October, what was my plan? My plan was a pair of socks a week. It didn't happen, because one of the things that did happen during October is that I was directing a show. And during the directing of the show, it turns out that takes a lot more time than I had. I should have known that. I also went on holiday down south. Also takes up more time than I had. So, you know, there's a couple of things that get in the way there. Anyway, second thing that I knitted. I had one of these puppies completed last month, and now I have both of these puppies completed. Actually, wait, I don't have the City Skyline socks pattern up on my website. I've got the Slouchy Socks pattern up on my website. These are a double knit sock. It's just a classic slouch sock. This is my slouch socks version 1, and I've written the pattern up. It's a free pattern. I think you can pay $1 for it on Ribbler if you want a Ribbler version, because it takes me a lot longer to set up the Ribbler thing. So those are options that I've got there. This is an Opal DK sock yarn, so these are nice. These are going to be hard wearing. I love them already. Haven't worn them yet, funnily enough. The next thing I knit was from a circular sock tube. Now, these here are my stripy socks. What can I say about my stripy socks? This was a nerve-wracking process. I did learn afterthought heels, which, you know, I like the way that the afterthought heel has a different texture to it, but I do think it's going to be quite tight across the top of my foot because I've got a fat foot. But we'll see how we go. I haven't put them on yet because, again, my plan for Socktober was tune out as many pairs of socks as we could. And you see, I thought I was doing well because I had the other ones finished early on, relatively early on, and then I had these done, but these shouldn't really count too much because it's really just a case of bands and toes and heels. Now, these were just a couple of evenings, so less than a busy week, and I had this pair of socks. So you can't go wrong with that. Then I started the project of a lifetime, and I do say the project of a lifetime with love because this is a really nice set of socks. This is from Unraveled because they were running a Socktober competition, and I was like, I can make some socks in Socktober. So you had to have one of their kits and complete them during Socktober, and I did that. I completed their socks during Socktober. This is the Pippi 2 socks, so they're striped. You get 2 balls of this fantastic alpaca nylon sock yarn, and it's really nice, and as everybody says, it's really hard wearing. However, the only problem I have with it is that I had to keep counting to 5, and I'm not very good at carrying the yarn up the side, so I'm worried about how that's going to go with the tension. I haven't blocked them yet because I don't want to. They're so fluffy and lovely, and if I block them, what if it loses the fluffy and lovely? I mean, it will even out the tension of the stitches because it was quite difficult to knit and maintain tension on this, but that's because I started them in Wellington Airport and flew to Christchurch. Then we road tripped down to Dunedin. Then we were in Dunedin and we flew back home again. That was one sock, and the other sock was in the in-between time, between finishing this one and finishing the end of the month. Not shown here is what took up my time in between, because it was Zeusical the musical. Horton needs a scarf, so I knit a ridiculously long scarf. But I don't have that here. That's sitting at school in the costume box, so there's that. Anyway, so Pippi 2 socks, I finished those. What is bizarre is that it appears that I do now have a lot of stripy socks, which is definitely a bonus. Other things I should mention I've been knitting. This one is a guilt project, and I mean it, because I don't even know if this is the 22. I think it's the 2021 big blanket. But I am finally now on panel 16. Panel 16? No, maybe it's further than that. This is square 6 and the last panel on square 6. And it's the Crossroads panel. So I've started it. Surely by the end of November, famous last words, surely by the end of November I have finished my last panel of the big blanket. Then I can start sewing the big blanket together. But I did say at the start of the month, I will finish this, and I haven't. I did so well at the start when I started knitting this. And if you look back at any of my updates, it was like, oh, I made another square because each square is another month, and yada, 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 yada. I am the man. And now it turns out I am not. I am far from it. I still love knitting this. I think what scares me most is that once I sew all 6 of these large squares together, what I end up with is an I-cord edge that will take me a veritable lifetime. And it'll be like the Stephen West basket weaver shawl that I've got sitting at somewhere like 300 stitches on the needles. And I'm just nervous about that one as well. So that one keeps being put on the back burner until I've got a bit more time. So there's this one from the big blanket. I do love it though. It's squishy wool. I'm very tempted to get their circular blanket pattern kit, but the only thing that's stopping me from getting the circular blanket kit is $650 for the kit. I mean, the yarn, beautiful, cannot fault it, but $650. I'm not paid to do this. This is what I do for fun. And while we're still working out the whole building a house scenario, blankets should be low on my list of priority items to start making. But maybe when I've got walls and that's all completed, then maybe I can do the circular blanket. Yeah. And then the most recent object that has been knit, and this pattern will be released with a video, hopefully. I watched a crochet video on a strawberry mouse, and I thought, oh, I could make a strawberry mouse, but then I thought I might actually knit a strawberry mouse. So this is Strawberry Mouse 1.0, and I do mean 1.0 because well, years ago I wrote a pattern for a strawberry, so I've just adapted the strawberry pattern to be more mouse-like. And there's my Strawberry Mouse, he's a very cute boy. But then I thought, this is easy, but this isn't necessarily the way I want my leaves to be. I want sticky out leaves. So I made Strawberry Mouse 1.0, and he led to Strawberry Mouse 2.0. Oh, look at him. Oh, he's a good boy. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, so look at his little bottom. It's like he's got all the little bits there. He's very cute. So I have my strawberry mice. Now, this pattern will be released with a video on how to make the strawberry mice, and I will have them up on Ribbler as well. So they'll be on my website, they'll be on Ribbler, and they'll just be a 2-pack of strawberry mice, because this one is significantly easier. What I mean by significantly easier is that this one doesn't really have any complicated stitches. It doesn't have a lot to darn in. Like, it doesn't take very long. This guy, this green bit is sewn on after. The tail's connected just like this guy is, but the leaves are sewn on afterwards as one unit. I do like his little ears. The ears have come out adorable. And I'm still on the fence as to whether or not I like the duplicate stitch for the seeds, or whether or not I want to just do a little stitch. Anyway, I've made duplicate stitch on these guys. So that is it for everything I knit in October. A scarf, 2.5 pairs of socks, because one of the pairs doesn't really count, a little bit of a blanket, and 2 strawberry mice. That doesn't seem like a lot of knitting for the amount of yarn mess I've made. However, I do have big plans, other than the fact that this will be finished, and I do need to get my sleeves done for the Stevie jumper. I want to try and cast on, oh look, maybe strawberry mice to dangle over something. Yes, look at that. Stop it, Juanita. Put the little fellas down. I've ordered some sock yarn because, as everybody knows, I needed more yarn. I don't need more sock yarn. I've ordered some sock yarn to make the the Tom Daley Odd Socks pack. And this ball of sock yarn is because when I was down south, I bought a fantastic skein of yarn, which is coloured like the Royal Albatross, and it was sold at the Royal Albatross Centre shop, which is very cool. So I've got that to work on as well. The other thing I need to do is I need to make a baby blanket for a friend of mine, so that's quite exciting. And probably some more baby booties as well would be another idea there. I was going to crank out a pair of booties this weekend, but I have not been that good. And on the top of all the rest of it, my tiny pile of things that I've knitted, basically it's been a rough month of health-wise. It's been a rough month of producing a show. There's been travel. There's been being in a show. Yes, hello. And then there's my beautiful boy. Yes, my best boy in the world, who also needs a hat, don't you? He doesn't like it when I knit him things, but he does like stealing all the blankets. Another reason not to get the woven $600 blanket before I've got a place that it can go without him and the cat completely getting into it. So that's everything I knit in October, which really isn't a lot. I don't even think I picked up my crochet hook once. Did I have some yarn acquisitions? I did. I might have to do a yarn haul of my recent acquisitions, because I don't need any more yarn. I don't. New Year's resolution, no new yarn. Everything that's around me, it's new yarn. Oh, honestly. Anyway, that's it from me for today. I hope you're all having a fantastic time, and I will catch up with you later. Keep an eye out for the pattern for the city socks and for the strawberry mice, because they will be up before you know it. And the pattern for the slouch socks is already released and going gangbusters. So have a fantastic time, and I will catch you all next week. Bye.